Good morning, friends. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of the Emerald Coast. I'm the Reverend Ruth Van Lillian. My pronouns are she, her. I offer a special welcome to our first time visitors, both in person and online. You are in the company of the curious, questioning, the hopeful. We are a band of faith explorers, each searching for meaning, none forcing their beliefs on others, and all learning from each other's discoveries. As we engage in the practice of celebrating what is worthy and sacred in our lives, I am with you in heart and spirit. And as your part time contract minister, I am available remotely for your pastoral needs. I know there are many pleasant diversions to pull us away from attending Sunday services: the garden, the beach, the water, and the ever beckoning pillow. I'm so glad you chose to set such things aside for an hour to come together with our faith community. The world can be a scary place, but it is less so when we are together. We need reminding that we are not alone and that we have more power as a group to make positive changes to our broken planet and its hurting inhabitants. May we bring out the best in one another as we seek spiritual refreshment and restoration together this beautiful morning.
Good morning. I'm Deborah Baker Ryan, and I am your service leader today. And we're so excited that you're here today. Everybody, you're going to have a treat. It's going to be fantastic. We have 13 people who are reading poetry today, 10 of which are original poems, and others that are going to read their own, other people's poems. Okay, so we're going to start with announcements first. Um, we have an announcement that second hour today is devoted to a potluck luncheon per our president, Miriam Williams. So if you brought something, fine and wonderful. If not, there's other people that have contributed. So please join us at second hour for that event. And then the other announcement that I have from the floor is Amy says, do not forget to bring your flower next Sunday for the flower communion. Our flower communion service is where everybody brings a flower and then everyone takes a flower, and that serves as our community. Any other announcements that we have? Say, refer to your order of service if you see announcements there for future events. Now we'll have our prelude with our music director, Cecile Lindgren. Thank you, Cecile. Can someone help me with the chalice lighting? I don't know how to do it. now that we have a different method. You can help? Thanks. Appreciate it. And we have Charlotte Silvis is going to read a poem for our child sliding. Is there some way that we can light the candle? I'm sorry. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Josh. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? Miss Charlotte, you want to step up to this microphone? Yes, ma'am. What is your? Oh, Shivers? Shivers. I'm sorry. Thank you, darling. This is Charlotte Shivers, better known as Gil Brown's mom.
Our opening words this morning are by Edna St. Vincent Millay, entitled God's World. O world, I cannot hold thee close enough. Thy winds, thy wide gray skies, thy mists that roll and rise, and all but cry with color. Thy woods this autumn day that ache and sag, and all but cry with color. That gaunt crag to crush, to lift the lean of that black bluff. World, world, I cannot get thee close enough. Long have I known a glory in it all, but never I knew this. Here such a passion is, as stretcheth me apart. Lord, I do fear thou hast made the world too beautiful this year.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Thank you. So, some other words that we want to contemplate today. Poetry is when an emotion has found its thought, and the thought has found words. That's from Robert Frost, who's a very famous poet. Thank you, Cecile and everyone. And now we have our time for all ages, and we have a real treat. I forgot about these poets. We have some poets in our children today. Some of them are going to share poetry with us. Mm. So, so last week in the RE class, we wrote poems. And what we had was something, you all have done Mad Libs? Okay, well, it was something like Mad Libs, but for writing, but you know, they didn't come out funny, they came out really good. And so I'm going to read mine that I did, and I have a couple from the children, but the children have gotten suddenly shy. Won't read their own unless they get inspired while I'm reading, in which case you can just raise your hand. Or if you'll let me read yours, I can do that too. Okay? So the last lesson we had in the curriculum we're doing, it was about identity, and we talked about how all the different things, from Kleenex and Jell-O and Frigidaire. Big white suburban house that was full of joyful, well, not always joyful, noise. I am from the giant mimosa tree in the front yard that could hold 3 kids at a time. I am from short, dark-haired people who celebrated Passover and Hanukkah. Though I know those were not their original names, also studied other faiths. Ukraine and Białystok, Poland, Chicago, Kansas City, and Brooklyn, and Silver Spring, Maryland. And matzo ball soup. From the family that traveled one summer up the White Mountains in New Hampshire in the old green station wagon and had to stop at every scenic overlook to let it cool down. I'm from boxes and boxes of photos and mementos that now reside distributed among us in Florida, Texas, Ohio, New Mexico, and New York. So, well, I have one here from a person that's not here that I could probably read, and that person would not know. And then I have 2 here from people who are here who said they would read and then decided they wouldn't. So has anybody changed their mind? No? Okay, they're being very shy. But the format that I am from, and then it asks you for specific things, and then you go back and write it out in kind of sentences. And there are some blank forms on the RE table if you would like to take one home and write your own I am from poem. Yes? It's a no-no? Okay. So they're back there. So the original poem, I don't know who set up the format, but there was a UU church that I got the format off the internet. So on the back of the blank is the examples are from the original guy who started it and from the teacher at the UU church that used it with their class. It's really pretty amazing how it comes out when you start. My best advice, if you're going to do it, is don't think about it too hard. Just sit and write the first thing that pops in your head for the prompts, right? And maybe next year, some of the children will want to read their poems. He doesn't want to. And if I read it and didn't tell anybody who it was, could I do that? No. Okay. Thank you. children are invited to go to their classes now, and we'll sing them out. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Now's a special time of our service where we share joys. So you noticed in your order of service that we have two perspectives this week. We have a group of poets that are going to read first, then we're going to do some of our other business of our service, and then we'll have a second group. So don't be sad and think that's it, it's over with, right? So in our first perspective, we're going to have these poets. Yes, yeah, you can do that. Josh is pointing at Rachel. Joshua Moore. Lauren is not going to speak today. He forgot his poem. Cynthia Boyer, Geraldine Shanks, Don Bowler, and Rachel Moore. So we'll let those people come up in that order, and we'll hear some wonderful poetry.
The simple pleasures of life. A keychain with your name on it spelled your way. May blessings be heaped upon you from an unknown source. And when those blessings are taken away or fade, may you remember how you lived before them. I'm blanking. Give me a second. It's funny how many times I went over this poem and now I forget it. I accidentally number my days. But how can I know the number, or the time, or the moment? This moment, this time, this too shall pass. A key has a purpose. A key chain helps you find that purpose. May joy be your guide. Let's gather before bed, joke around, talk about the day, or sit in silence. And the next time I'm at the gas station, I'll make sure to check the keychains for your name spelled your way. Thank you.
So, to start off this poem, I'd like to say that my husband and I just celebrated our 13-year wedding anniversary. And every anniversary, which there are 4 of them that are important to me, my husband is asked to write me a poem. I don't want diamond rings, dinners out, anything like that, which we do, but he writes me a poem. But this year he said, 13 years, where's my poem? So I wrote him a poem, and it goes, 13 years ago we said, I do. I do deal with your snoring. You deal with mine, except I don't snore. I do love to travel with you. You love record stores. I do not. I do wait patiently while you search through several tracks of CDs, several stacks of CDs looking for the right track. Sorry. You do visit historical buildings after visits to record stores. We did cross many raging relationship rivers. We did and do sickness and health. We've lost and gained. We do it over and over again. We made a plan. We sometimes veer off course but navigate home to each other's best friend. Hopefully to the end of concerts, winding roads, family outings, dinners with friends, and naps. We now take naps. I love you. It is a do to share a life with anyone, but especially doing it with you. Happy 13th. Onward. Now. this is also about life. Could be anyone's life. I came upon a path almost unknown, weedy and overgrown. A path once worn with slow or hastened pace into nature's sunlit grace. I pondered where the path had led, were songs sung there or poems read? Where were the feet which walked together or alone? A path, yes, once walked, seemed forgotten, no longer known. Yes, I came upon a forgotten path, weedy in the woods. I wondered and still do. Will the paths I am making become forgotten, overgrown, or will others follow, walking upon them, never forgotten but known?
Before I read this, I do want to give a heads up. It is a perspective poem. You know me as I'm Nugget. This horror story doesn't begin on a dark and stormy night. Mine started at 56 degrees Fahrenheit, when I covered my shoulders and I covered my knees, but this girl was still a distraction, and a creeper did as he pleased. He was to blame, but I still caught the fall because he was a good guy, but so is Chucky the doll. He's taking over my sleep and he haunts my dreams. I guess Freddy's been put out of a job, as it seems. I can't show off my body, can't show off my face. Leatherface? I just want to go back to living my life, but I keep looking back as if Michael's after me with a knife. The million-dollar question is, will I heal? But who can tell? All I know is I'm done playing Barbie. He's awakened Annabelle.
Hi, I'm Don Bowler, and I write poetry sometime. What I'm going to read today is a quatrain octosyllable AABB format. I usually say these things to convince you that I know more than I do. Such is not the case, of course. I write poetry for therapy because it helps me understand what I'm thinking. You never know what you're thinking until you write it down. And therefore poetry becomes very introspective, and I think that is the beauty of it as therapy for yourself. So there are always a couple of things when you start. What am I going to write about? How am I going to end? Sometimes it comes easy, sometimes it comes hard. You can only try and see what you get. So here's a poem I wrote about. It was relative to an almost everyday occurrence that happens in everyone's life. It's called Automotive Motivation. Another car. The one I have cannot make par. It does its job without complaint, but red paint. My car's bereft of bells and knobs, with only one old entry fob. Mine has a small computer screen, surely the smallest I've ever seen. I want my car to talk to me and know just where I want to be. Speech recognition, oh, so fast, can answer all the questions asked. I want conveyance with some style. LED lights to make me smile. I'd like to move it warp speed plus, even though there's no great rush. I want lots of knobs to push and turn with lots of rubber I can burn. The color must be red or black and classic shape from front to back. After looking far and wide, I'm now able to decide. I found the car a perfect fit. It's just this, I can't afford it.
Josh, are you gonna read? Okay, well, that's fine. It's a poem, so. Okay. So we're going to go to our meditation, and we have Jim Colombo is going to read a poem to us.
Good morning. I'm Jim Colombo. The following is my mother. Unfortunately, my mother's no longer with me. She's been gone about 17 plus years, but she's with me in thought all the rest of my life. But she was a very special mother to me, and as most mothers are to us, respectively. Can you all hear me okay? Yeah. And it's entitled, My Mother. My mother, my friend so dear, throughout my life, you're always near, a tender smile to guide my way, you're the sunshine to light my day. Author unknown. And the thought of my mother is always with me, and as I say, she's been gone now for over 17 years, but I always remember her, or I dream about her as though she's still there, but her influence over me for 48 years was so profound that she's always with me in thought and always near in some way throughout the universe. And I just wanted to make a final comment on apropos to this poem. It takes a village sometimes, and it sure did this morning, because I had a different poem picked out in this big fancy book of great poems, and it's still at home. I didn't think about it until this morning, so it's still at home, but I want to send a note of gratitude to a couple surrogate mothers that have sort of helped me along in absence of my mother, who passed in early 2007. One is my friend Linda Carson, and also Charlotte Hausman up in Michigan. I send Charlotte, Linda and Charlotte the Mother's Day cards every year out of gratitude for their guidance. And so it does indeed take a village. Thank you.
Okay, we will now have our offering, and if you'll sing along with our words that we sing before we give our tithe. All cash and undesignated checks will be split this week with our Share the Plate recipient opportunity place. Please remember, if you're putting a check in, that you want to designate that it is your pledge or that you're sharing. Okay. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and by this we live.
Oh, hey, thank you. Hi, everybody. Now you can hear me. So I was asked to do a poem, and I was also asked to sing, and so I figured I would sing one of my own songs. So which is a poem, I think.
Yes.
Last time I checked. This is perhaps my favorite song. That's why I wanted to play it with you, or play it for you. Comes from the place deep inside of my heart. It's called Lover, Brother, Mother. Said that we could run together on the plains, and the moon, she'd recognize us all the same. Where have you been? You haven't run like this in so long. You are my children, you know that you have been all along. I need to know that this thing is headed somewhere. Oh, this is something that we do for trillions of years, or not at all. What are you doing? I am your lover, your brother, your mother. You are my lover, you are my brother, you've always been. And I went searching for a vision, something divine, something catching like a fire through all mankind. I found a message carved deep in our soul. Find your place in all of this, and then try to let go. Find your place in all of this, and then try. I need to know that this thing is headed somewhere. Oh, this is something that we do forever, friends. Where are you going? What are you doing? What are the games we play? I am your lover, your brother, your mother. You are my lover, you are my mother, you've always been. I am starting to think that we could win this war. If only we could agree on what we're fighting for. What is this light? What are we touching? Is it everything? Is it where we come from? Where we're going? Is it everything? Is it where we come from? Where we're going? Let me tell you, friends, I know that this thing is headed somewhere. And I am in this for a trillion years, I swear. I seen my true face, I
Okay, so our perspective number 2, our poets are Tim Knoll, Peggy Alexander, Melissa Hallett, and then myself, if we have time. Okay, you guys can come up in any order, but maybe in the order that I called you. Is Tim here? I haven't seen him this morning. I don't think he is. Peggy, you're on.
These poems I wrote, I have 2 that I wrote. I wrote over 50 years ago, and it was when I started my spiritual journey, and it was in the 70s when all us hippies were going to India to find the truth. And I bought them here today to read because it's like I've come full circle. I'm not going to start. Finding all of you wonderful people, especially in the places that we live right now. I live in Defuniak, so there you go. It's just been a joy. So I wanted to share these with you. 52 years ago. Man-child. Children are playing out front in the sand. One of them childlike, but really a man. He never forgot how to laugh, run, or cry, or how, like a child, to be cruel to a friend who for a moment forgot to pretend that she was an angel who laughed like a child, instead of a woman with vision and dreams and temper and wildness beyond all she seemed. No matter, of course, children fight all the time, except I remember another thing too. They love one another when all's said and done. It was only in fun. This is called Home. Today is yesterday, tomorrow. The time has come and gone for sorrow. A light shines through a bamboo window shade, not blocked or stopped or halted there, only filtered with the air to glimmer sweetly, patterns turn the room in which I live to castle walls and towers tall, and blissful peace pervades it all. O Prince divine, if thou were mine, for only just an evening's time, the world might open up its arms and let us fly back to the stars where we were born. An eon's time has passed since then, and we could never find the way alone or with some other soul whose home was in another place. But you, my love, I sense akin to me and all the universe of stars that dance at night and beckon there, the children who have traveled far and through the time forgot the means and lost their wings and couldn't fly alone. I'll be your lamp of light divine. You'll be my guide and God in time, and we'll fly there with wings of gold, leaving all the dust behind, the veils. My God, my Prince, my life, in you I trust and give with love. The stars, our home, our universe, and all the things you love in me. You found my wings and made me free.
This is a poem I call Feel Real. It's not your typical quatrain, what have you. It's it's discombobulated, and it's meant to be that way because it demonstrates my experience with dissociation after a PTSD diagnosis. Feel real. Just write. Put words on the page. Draw a blank. Stare. Pretend you don't feel. But do I feel? Am I anxious? Am I angry or bitter or salty? I feel all the things and nothing. Is this the same nothing I felt at the edge of a razor? Am I hungry? Or is that nausea? Is the nausea from colitis or paranoia? I didn't eat dinner. I still wrestle to master hangry. Will I feel happier when my hip bones poke out further than my belly? Snap, short, angry, pathetic, headache, absent, exhausted. Are those tears lingering on the doorstep? Desperate to be acknowledged but hiding from view? Do you see me trying with every fiber of my being? Do you see me proud and cocky but inwardly panicking? Do you see the dark circles under my eyes or the way I walk gingerly? Do you see the flyaway hairs or the way I hunch my shoulders, shrinking ever further into myself? Do you see the way my hands shake and my fingers fumble any nimble action I ask of them? Do you see that I haven't taken a breath since you looked my direction? Do you see how my eyes have glazed over? I look through you and the wall, unblinking and absent. Do you hear the words whispered under my breath, rehearsed phrases 10 minutes too late? Do you see my face cycle through emotions as I play scenarios in my head? Did you notice I haven't moved in 6 hours? Or that I didn't hear just hardworking? Am I lame? Is there something wrong with me? Am I autistic? Am I just depressed? Am I traumatized? Do I enjoy the activities I participate in? How's my sleep? Do I hope for something more? Is this a flashback, some sick desire? Do I really feel this or experience that? Am I real? Is there someone else driving this vehicle I call a body? It's going too fast. Where's the brakes? Make it stop. Full stop. Let it drop. Let me drop. Let me flop. What happens if I fail? The world keeps turning. I am replaced. Look, watch it float. Watch me float. Is this what peace feels like? Release? That body just moved again, one foot in front of the other. Who's driving? Eyes on the road. Watch where you're going. Where are we going? What do you expect? You, who are you? Who am I? What am I doing? Oh, right. Writing. Writing about the feelings I feel, though unsure if they're real.
I am Marie-Claude Bowler, and the inspiration doesn't come very often in English. It's more often in French for me. But a few months ago, what I'm going to talk about briefly happened, and it inspired me something in English. And Cynthia, the person I'm going to talk about, might be the son, the descendant of your rabbit. We live in Blue Water Bay on a golf course, and one morning when I opened the bay window on the backyard, here he was, a small rabbit. And when I went out, it didn't go away. It stayed, and we watched each other for a while, and it was worth writing a few lines. Let me tell you about a special day, started matter-of-factly, when looking down at the divine greeting. At night, a white one who had no clues, offered by a young soul to an elderly she wanted to make whole. On arms or knees, all chose to caress him, but the lady, last and slim, united their two faces, and eyes closed, remembered past embraces.
This has been so wonderful. I'm a big fan of Emily Dickinson, but I can't rhyme. So all of my poetry since I was 12 years old has been free verse. But I have a poem that I would like to read it, and I don't usually title my poems, but I'm going to call this one Cacophony, so that you get a setup for what's about to come. Cacophony sounding within, unheeded before, volume now amping to unbearable loudness, no longer to be ignored. Decibel by decibel, it rises, my eardrums in unshakable pain. Shouting, listen to the music of you. Share your loving concerto. Finally, decibel by decibel, volume lowers as remembered recognition comes of my long forgotten lyric arrangement. Dials now lowered all the way down to a sweet humming whisper. Balance in stereo. Audio restored. The melodic roar of all. Thank you. And we're doing pretty good. Just have a couple more pieces. Mr. Bob Baker is going to come and extinguish the chalice with his poem that he's going to read for us. Would the young lady come back and extinguish our chalice for us while Bob reads?
The title of my poem is Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. It's by my favorite poet, Robert Frost. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening. Not remembering it very well. What? Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his cinder bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake.
The only other sounds a sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I had promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep.
Thank you. Before Cecile plays our final postlude, can we give a round of applause for all of these wonderful poets that we've heard today? Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much. Cecile? Our service is ended. And don't forget, second hour, potluck.